When I heard the music and the atmosphere in the multiplayer reveal, I'll be honest, I had goosebumps throughout that time. Like, I was literally looking at my hands, seeing all the times I was actually getting goosebumps just from the music, the atmosphere, and the way things look to be. I feel in a way that we can be optimistic about this. We can be positively optimistic about the whole situation because it seems like they're confident, and that confidence is showing through the gameplay that we saw through the multiplayer reveal, the different content creators that played there, and their videos that they posted throughout yesterday and today. And while I was not planning to make a video today, the whole event, the whole, coming back into the roots, having that nostalgic feeling of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, and while I was much younger at the time, feeling that again, hearing the music that really reminiscent of that, and just the whole atmosphere of this, it really made me stop with everything I was doing and just focus on what we see. And I literally had goosebumps throughout that event. And I feel like many Battlefield veterans that played Battlefield 3 or 4 probably had that feeling too. And I feel like we can say that we kind of feel that it's back to the roots. The feel of the game, the destruction, the whole, way it looks and feels does really remind me of those games, but brought to the modern standard. So nicer graphics, resolution, frame rates, just the texture quality and everything in between, but like a reimagination of 3 and 4. And let's be honest, that music, that was incredible. From the videos that we had throughout the event and throughout yesterday and today that the content creators released on their channels, I have to say that it does feel like it's back to the roots. It does feel more grounded, more just overall the feel of the game feels much more to something like Battlefield 3 and 4 than Battlefield 2042. But I feel like there's a couple key features that really makes it feel back to the roots. Throughout the whole event, I was thinking, what was the reason I felt this connection with it? Why it felt like back to the roots? Not just like it's cool, it's something new, it's visuals, new graphics. No, just what is, like, consciously thinking what is happening here that really makes me feel like it's back to what it was before. And to be honest, I found a couple things that really made it seem a little bit more like Battlefield 3 and 4 compared to the last Battlefield 2042. And the first thing is the destruction. It literally feels like the one that we had before. Even like the huge buildings, like a town building or like in Brooklyn, for example, when you have like the narrow alleyway, you can destroy the building. So if someone was camping in a window, you can destroy this window and just the whole wall. It really reminded me of playing with my cousin on Battlefield 3, and for those that remember, Saying Crossing, where sometimes you had people camping in like a stairwell or like in a building, in a wall, and you could break that open and it would fall down. It really felt like the way. It feels like it's something of that nature, meaning that it felt really kind of like those games. And that also brings me to another point, which is the maps. Battlefield 2042 felt like it was just plain open maps, not much cover, mostly sandbags and containers, shipping containers, and some kind of cover in terms of like the ground or tree or something, some buildings in between, but rather open maps. Just a difference of, is it grass, is it sand, is it snow? But here it felt like it was more like Battlefield 3 and 4, where sometimes you have a map that is wide open and is like, all vehicle combat while infantry is fighting, like all-out warfare. But then you have sometimes maps like the Brooklyn maps where it feels much more close combat, something that feels a little bit more like the certain parts of Operation Metro, the one outside, kind of reminds me of Saying Crossing from Battlefield 3, but also other maps throughout the Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 where it's urban combat, you can destroy the buildings, it's really cool. But sometimes they're more open, and you still have the shipping containers, you still have like the base of operation with sandbags and everything. So there's a nice variety where you feel that each map is much different. Sometimes it's close quarter with buildings, with somewhere you would probably walk in Brooklyn, and then you have somewhere in the mountains where you're fighting between like the different mountainsides and like the command posts. So there's different maps that feel totally different, meaning that we have from more close combat to a farther distance, making it just more unique. You have different style of play, and that makes it just more reminiscent of the Battlefield 3 and 4 instead of Battlefield 2042. And to be honest, that gameplay also had that feeling, like just the visuals around the gameplay, even the screen where you see what your teammate is looking at when you're spawning, that is so Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. In my opinion, it kind of captures that essence of nostalgia playing those games, but brings it up a notch, like improvements and just better visuals, but still makes it that nostalgic, back to the roots feeling. seeing no goofy skins, no like all over the top skins, something that is grounded, even if they are gonna be customizable, which is fine by me, as long as customizable in a way that is military looking. I know it's not a mil sim per se. It is like a sandbox arcade mil sim in a way, but that makes it fun. It makes it a fun game that is combined warfare with, you know, helicopters, airplanes, tanks, BTRs, all those different vehicles, and infantry, while making it like a mil sim in a way that it feels grounded, it feels good, it isn't over the top, the movement isn't over the top, the operators are not here anymore, which is good. Overall, it just feels like it's really nicely made. Kind of like a comeback of Battlefield. And to be honest, I was really unoptimistic about this game for some time. I just felt like it's not gonna be what I wanted from Battlefield. But after yesterday's reveal and the gameplay that I saw, to be honest, it turned around a lot, and I feel like we are back. I feel like we are back, but we still have to be cautious. Let's see how it runs when it releases, how the beta is gonna go. It's nice that they open up the beta for everyone, meaning that is just kind of like seeing that it's confident, that they are confident the game's gonna be good. And a lot of creators said that they actually felt like they were back in Battlefield. It literally felt what Battlefield is, and like just the destruction of even the vehicles felt like Battlefield. Hopefully this goes in the right direction. Please let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about the reveal of the multiplayer aspect of Battlefield, and also what are your general thoughts about it. They kind of teased the new Battlefield Battle Royale. I'm all for it, to be honest. I know a lot of people are not. I am totally honest, to make Battlefield like this hub of different gameplays where you can play Battle Royale, multiplayer, and have this cross-reference. If you want to play 6v6 or 32 versus 32 or a battle royale, having that, you know, combination of all of these things, depending if, for example, I'm alone, there's no friends to play, I can go just grind my camos, grind my weapons, or maybe I want that big vehicle combat and I'm playing solo or with my friends, with a squad. That is really nice. But if we want that feeling of, you know, last man standing, which we love in Warzone, how about that? We have that in one combined package, meaning that you have everything in one game, one gameplay. Is really cool idea. If they can pull it up, it's gonna be incredible, but let's see how it goes. And I think it's going in the right direction. If you're interested in saving up a little bit of money on games, check out Instant Gaming. On Instant Gaming, I was able to find great games at a much discounted price. And together with Instant Gaming, we're doing a giveaway, where one of you can win a game of your choice. If you're interested in this month's giveaway, check out the link down below. With that being said, it's gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.